Hey y'all. Today we are talking about the Jinky we are transiting through. Today's the final day of it, and it is such a beautiful, special one to me because my co-host Renee has this as her life's work key. She just had her birthday yesterday. So if you know someone who had a birthday this week, let's see, the dates of the key were October 30th to November 5th. Then you probably know someone who has the life's work 44. That is the gene key we've been transiting through. And it's a very special one. It's very unique. They all have their own uniqueness and beauty. And I know I always talk about that, but this one in particular has a very beautiful gift for the progression of humanity, moving from some of these outdated hierarchy structures to synarchy. And synarchy is something we'll go deeper into. It's a term Richard Rudd uses all the time when speaking about the evolution of our collective and the progression of it, and essentially a better way to commune, a better way to be together, that works in a more inclusive manner. As we know, hierarchy often misses the mark when it comes to those kind of things. So, for so many reasons that we will not get into, unless, of course, it's a part of the shadow that I read from. So, it's a Scorpio key. It is for my human design nerds, it is a gate coming off of the spleen. So, it's a fear gate. And this fear, the 44, holds fear of the past. It connects to gate 26 and forms the salesman channel, which goes into the willpower center. So that's kind of interesting. I always like to, as y'all know, I get nerdy with stuff. I like to look and see what the gate is reaching for, what what it plugs into, and then what center it's plugging into, obviously what center it's coming out of. So the splenic center is deeply intuitive. It relates to the immune system, and it is, yeah, it's practicing forgiveness and learning from mistakes. That fear of the past can be interpreted as, oh, I don't want the past to repeat itself, so I'm going to become debilitated by the things that might have happened that were bad or whatever, failures. Or I'm going to understand that all happened as it was meant to, and I'm going to alchemize it and use it to assist me in moving forward in a more intuitive, grounded, informed sort of way. So that's learning from mistakes, and then forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself typically is the main place to start there with that. So let me get comfy in my little chair here and let's get into it. Okay, so I love this term too, the grid worker. When thinking about the 44, we're thinking about these webs, these invisible webs that connect all of us together. The 44 is very much so tribal because it is connected to the spleen. The spleen's a tribal center. It's an ancient center. It's a center that kept us safe and secure and connected and made ensured that humanity continued to move forward, progressing. So thinking about that as I read this first couple of nuggets. Okay. The term human fractal is an extension of this notion to human relationships, referring to the web of invisible patterns that bind certain groups of people together. In classical Indian teaching, such ties between people are known as karmic ties. In the language of human fractals, every person you meet in your life is a part of the overall fractal pattern of your destiny. And he uses the terminology fractals a lot, but it's those invisible webs. When you look at fractal images, particularly those generated by a computer, you will notice how fractal geometry follows certain holographic lines and patterns. No matter where you go in the fractal, you find the same pattern repeating infinitely into inner space. As the genetic counterpart of cosmic geometry, human relationship fractals follow similar patterns. You will always draw towards you those relationship geometries that teach you exactly what you need to know in order to evolve your current awareness. I love that. There is so much, excuse me, peace and knowing that what is for you will not pass you because your energy is attracting exactly what you need to further your evolution. I just looked at the clock and it's 111. Thank you. Okay. As you learn from each relationship in your life and over time come to master the lessons each affords you, then the frequency of your entire hologenetic profile heightens in pitch and you begin to attract higher frequency fractals. A higher frequency human fractal brings new people into your life, most of whom are operating out of a far more transcendent awareness. It's like that saying, if you want better, be better. You want better, do better. That's what that makes me think of. A sure sign that you are attracting a higher frequency fractal in your life is devotion. Your relationships will begin to carry a quality of devotion within them. If you do not learn the lesson of a certain relationship, even if you leave that relationship, the pattern will come right back into your life in another person. It is through the 44th gene key that all relationships are called towards each other and why it is so powerfully linked to the theme of ancestral karma and incarnation. The ancient Chinese called this hexagram coming to meet, which is, of course, highly appropriate since the 44th gene key concerns how, why, and when people meet each other, as well as the result that emerges from group or family dynamics. Human fractals seem to operate at different levels in relationships, families, local communities, and even whole tribal gene pools. To really understand human fractals, you have to look at life both holistically and holographically. If we view separate human beings like cells within a greater organism, we could say that certain cells bind together at different places within the body at different times for different purposes. In other words, there is a kind of master program that choreographs the movement and migration of human beings. Even though it appears that we as individuals are making free choices, it is really the master programming operating through us. So let's go to the repressive and reactive nature, and then we'll move on to the gift, okay? So the repressive nature is distrustful. The individual repressive nature of the 44th shadow is based upon distrust. This distrust is both an inherited trait and a conditioned one. It is a fear-based response to one's early experience in childhood, and it infects all of one's relationships. These are the people who have a single disastrous relationship and then shut down out of fear of the same thing happening again. Although they may not show that on the surface, this fear causes them to unconsciously distrust all relationships. Such people often find themselves working and living together with others, but at a subtle level, they keep them at arm's length. They are haunted by their own past and rigidly defend themselves from ever experiencing love or pain again. Oof. Gosh, it's always like a shutting down, controlling of how much gets in is like the shadows always have that nature like that. The reactive nature, misjudging. The reactive side of the 44th shadow is a master of misjudgment. These people do not shut down like the repressive side, but keep making the same mistake in their relationships. The 44th gift has a sharp instinct for people, but if the basic frequency of your vehicle is operating below optimum, your instinct misfires. Accordingly, individuals with this reactive nature ally themselves to those who really don't respect them, who turn against them, or in business who are a drain on resources and often just plain incompetent. The classic example is someone who keeps breaking ties with certain people only to rediscover a similar pattern within the next person. What happens here is that their instinct cannot operate outside its own fractals, so they make alliances that are fraught with difficulties. Oof. Let's have a little break after that. P.S. I'm reading from the Gene Key Bible, written by Richard Rudd. So beautiful. All right. Um, the 44th gift. So the 44th shadow is interference. The gift is teamwork. The siddhi is synarchy. The shadow of interference breaks down into distrustful or misjudging. So that interference can be distrustful or misjudging. And then we move on now to teamwork. As the frequency of this 44th gene key rises, the gift of teamwork is born. This is actually a fascinating gift because, at a very deep level, it concerns the human sense of smell. Now, this is really fascinating. You're going to want to lean into this. Much research has gone into this incredibly sensitive olfactory abilities of certain mammals, but most people are unaware of how this sense operates at a higher frequency within humans. These are people whose genius is to read other people. They can literally size you up with a single handshake. Isn't that cool? This is not an auditory gift like the 57th gift of the intuition that can hear. The 44th gift requires close personal contact in order for the higher aspects of your olfactory nature to work effectively. You have to be able to smell someone in order to read their true nature. People with the 44th gift use their sense of smell at a wider level than simply smelling through the nose. In fact, these people smell with their entire immune system and through every pore within their skin. They can pick up undetectable odors such as pheromones and even subtler hormonal signals from those whom they meet. At a deeper level, this gift is about someone being in alignment with their own fractal. Once you have a high enough frequency, you can overcome the collective interference of the 44th shadow and begin to pick up the scent of your true allies in life. That is so cool. Not only will you recognize the right people for you, but you will also begin to move differently through the world as your higher instinct begins to function accurately. For the 44th gift is about picking up subtle scents. As you follow each scent in your life, you are following your higher fractal, and that is when the miracle of true teamwork can be experienced. So cool. So cool. I sent this to my friend Renee, who, as I mentioned, had her birthday yesterday. So her life's work gene key is the 44. It's very much so a part of her design. And I have another dear friend in Sweden who this is her soul birthday, is this 44. So it's in her unconscious sun, which is just, it shows up as a beautiful part of the golden path in Gene Keys. But anyway, I thought about both of them and how I can see this show up in them, like them sniffing things out and being very investigative and wanting to get to the bottom of things. And sometimes the way they move in the world seems kind of random, but for them, I mean, it truly is just like following and sniffing and sensing and smelling, and they're looking for these really hard to see invisible threads that connect everything eventually. So it's just so cool. Let's go to the city finally. Synarchy. The coming of the queendom. The 44th city is truly remarkable. It concerns the complete understanding of the mechanics of human destiny and the entire story of humanity. As a concept, synarchy is the opposite of anarchy. The prefix syn means to act in concert, and archy means to govern. So syn is concert, archy is govern. Therefore, the literal meaning concerns the concept of collective rulership. Historically, the notion of synarchy has been greatly abused politically. Communism claimed to be synarchic, as did Hitler's fascist regimen. We begin to move a little closer to its true implications through its use of various occult schools of thought. Synarchy was seen by various occult writers as representing a world led by a secret society of masters. This 44th gene key, together with the 50th gene key from the genetic codon ring called the Ring of the Illuminati, and given that the 50th city activates the high quality of harmony, we can see how deeply woven into human mythology this archetype truly is. The myth of secret societies has been much out of vogue in the last 100 years with the rise of the New Age movement. It is currently much back in vogue with numerous books postulating the existence of the hidden Illuminati who are said to meet in secret and manipulate world events. Such conspiracy theories may have their roots in esoteric traditions. When the 44th city is present in a human being, then they see the entire tapestry of human interactions through time and space. They not only see it, but they dissolve into it. The consciousness within such a person is able to travel down every single fractal line within the cosmos because there is no resistance within their vehicle. Their consciousness ripples down the fractal arms of both the past and the future of the universe. The secret of this is silence. Such a being has to fall into complete silence in order to hear the movement of every cell within the great hive of being. However, this 44th city is about far more than just understanding the secrets of human destiny and the fractal patterns of time. To awaken through the 44th city pres- pres- presupposes presupposes that you occupy what is known as a core fractal. So it says every computer program uh, has what is termed as a source code. The source code refers to a hidden code within the program that allows access to the main programming matrix. The only way that you can influence the original program is if you have access to this code. In the case of our universe, there are three source codes, and the 44th city allows access to any one of them. Moreover, written into the master program of the overall fractal pattern of our universe are specific points in what we call human history, where the program will mutate. In other words, it has a built in design to evolve beyond itself. If we consider once again the synarchy of bees, we see the existence of a kind of hierarchy, but one that is circular rather than linear. No one is a synarchy is no one in a synarchy is above anyone else because at all times there is an awareness of the group's inherent oneness. Each unit has a perfect fit in the overall geometry, and if there is no resistance through the individual forms, the totality can function as one. Within this vast tapestry are centers of forces known as core fractals. Core fractals are what we term enlightened beings or masters. Each time a human core fractal is awakened, the entire arm of that fractal slowly begins to awaken. Thus, it is said that certain beings or avatars come to Earth to take on the sins of the masses. This refers to the awakening of core fractals and domino effect through the ancestral genetic chain. As the universe awakens, the interference is gradually cleared and the synarchy that lies beneath emerges. Isn't that fascinating? So, synarchy is here already. It's just a matter of us revealing it, removing everything that's blocking that, gradually clearing away the interference. So beautiful. So, so beautiful. I'll include a little nugget from Dare to Dream. Um, I'm sorry, Dare to be Divine. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Richard's other book, Dare to be Divine. I'll include a little snippet of the 44 in the bio. In the bio, in the comment, in the caption. Excuse me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the energy of this key. We'll be moving into a new key very, very soon. And so I am honored to share this key with you. And I'm honored to be surrounded by beings that have this activated in them. It's really beautiful to see and to see the impact they're making through their gifts and abilities and activating their fractal lines and therefore awakening so many. It's an honor to participate and co create in their plan, in their knowing. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Bye.